Evan the Skeptic. All right, going live. Hitting buttons and such. We are live. On time even.
We're live right now?
Well, it said we went live. Well, it says we're live, but I don't see it yet. No, I'm not seeing it yet. Come on. What are you doing here? There we go. I think it just went through. Yay. No, maybe.
No.
There it is.
Right.
We're live.
We're live.
I like it. Chris will be joining us soon. He just called me from the road. He is on his way back from looking at some properties.
Is he moving?
He is considering it. Yes, I believe.
Where to?
North and or south of where he is. That's the best I got. Still in Colorado. I was left with the impression since he's driving back from the place. But I think he wants to, like a lot of us, we're feeling a pull to get away from population centers.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm on Starlink. I can see the thing right there.
This is the Starlink?
Yeah, I'm in the she shed.
That's pretty stable.
Fuck yeah, it is, man.
What are you hitting for your bandwidth on it?
100 gigawatts.
Only 100 gigawatts?
150,000 million gigawatts.
Okay, that's better.
Megabitage. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I mean, it seems to stream pretty decent quality video.
Megabitage. I have a lot of megabitage.
Megabitage.
Yeah, I'm straight up.
I don't think we've gotten to terabitage yet.
Actually, they did. They figured out how to. We knew that theoretically, fiber is infinite bandwidth if you can split the channels and get them back together on the other side. And I read somewhere that the Japanese or somebody in Asia got terabitage.
Yeah, I had heard that as well. And that they're potentially using a simulated quantum algorithm.
Oh, fuck, don't go there. I don't want to talk quantum.
Well, supposedly you can get 10x.
Okay, 10x I can deal with.
Yeah.
Next gen, I can do with next gen right now, but no more quantum today.
No quantum today?
No.
No, okay.
No quantum. No quantums, man. Fuck, so many quantums everywhere. I ran into 3 of them in the truck on the way in. You can't even see those fuckers, man.
It's a thing, man. It's ever evolving. They
evolving or devolving, do you think?
Are we evolving or devolving?
Mm-hmm.
I think as practitioners of science, a select group of us are evolving. I think as a herd of species, not terribly impressed with what I see. I got to be honest. The group as a whole seems to be falling off a bit.
You could make a case that we're devolving, couldn't you?
I mean, I heard a guy who is in an elected position make a claim that no one had been elected.
A politician?
It's a politician, and he made a claim that no one had been elected in his state since 2006. He, however, took that position in 2016. So, which one is it, bud? Are you then telling us you were appointed, or that was a conversation here at the house? Was the just wild statements that just get thrown out there with like literally contradicting themselves in the same sentence.
I got dirt on my hands.
Well, have you been working hard?
No.
Are you sure it's dirt?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's dirt. I was doing some stuff with the truck So tomorrow we have to leave the house
Oh,
because we have like our house hits the market tomorrow, and we have like showings all fucking day, like the entire fucking day.
your
And
house
then-
will be sold by the evening.
Yeah, and then an open house from 5 to 7, I think, tomorrow. So we just decided to hit the road and stay at a hotel for the
There
night.
you
Take the dogs, head out. But then FR Secure, somebody put a meeting on my calendar for lunch tomorrow in Woodbury. It's like, fuck, man. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet. I'll figure it out.
So I took the day off today.
Good
Sort
for
of.
you.
Sort of.
I saw it out of office. I saw an out of office.
Yes. Yep. Still, nudged a few things along, but began the great office purge of 2020. 2022 that was supposed to start in 2020. So I maybe am a little delayed to getting going with this, but just all the shit you just accumulate, you know what I mean? Just like, and my office kind of became a dumping ground of, I'll deal with it later. I'll get to that one later. Is it important or not? I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. And then I was like, no. So I'm burning it all out, hopefully finish it by this weekend. Then I might do like a reconfiguration, and I want to have a more comfortable podcast area. I want to like separate the work area from the podcast area.
Are you going through fucking change control?
Yes.
All right, I need to see that documentation.
Okay. For the
Hey, podcaster, check this shit out, dude. Check this shit out. Watch what I got. What up, dude? Podcaster. So,
nice.
welcome to the Unsecurity Podcast, motherfuckers.
I like it. I was actually just redoing all my crap as well, because I want to go back to using the nice mic.
Yeah, shout out to Richie. He's been on my ass for 18 months probably.
So
to get better quality audio, and I was like, yeah, whatever, me, I don't listen to people very well. And so finally I was like, all right, fuck it. I was in Boise last Friday. Yeah, right after the shit show. I caught a flight to Boise Friday morning to talk to a guy who is on the cybersecurity task force for the state of Idaho. Super cool guy. We had lunch, visited with Kevin for a little bit, and then I stayed in the hotel, and that's when I bought this. And then flew back Saturday morning. And then I went to John Harmon's son's graduation party.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Really good barbecue. And then I saw Peter there. Peter Bougie.
I do.
Gave him a big hug. He's one of those people, there's some people in your life that when you see them, just seeing them lifts your spirits. And he's one of those people. So when I saw him pull up, I was like, just happy.
That's
And then
good.
this week was what happened this week? We had some state of Florida. I had to record that thing for the state of Florida. I haven't heard how that went, but I don't know. What'd you think? Did you watch it?
I have not watched it. I'll be honest. I have not yet. I assumed it was good.
I did it with the thing.
I like it. No, you know the deal, man. It's just like anything. It's going to be, slow go, hurry up and go. It'll be bunching up something, whole lot of nothing, radio silent, and then it's just going to flip a switch. We got our paperwork in place with our newest friends that we've been talking to that we had a meeting with this week. Very excited to announce that later when it's an appropriate time, but very excited about that. Going to be really, really impactful to the mission, I think.
Yeah, I agree. We had class this week, second week of the CVCISO class.
Nice.
The second go round. So last week, technical issues. first night. The second night was like, I'm going to try something new, because I'm trying to learn how we want to structure this thing like really nice so that people are like, fuck, this is the shit. And so I decided I was going to try a recorded class, right? A pre-recorded class. Well, that went to shit. So I dropped that idea for now. And then Thursday last week, I finally got my shit together, I think. And then this week, Monday, policy and accounting and shit and accountability. I like accountability, so I get kind of heated on that one. And then people like the stories, the stories, that you share from your experiences, being in just weird fucking places and stuff. And then Wednesday morning, it's today Thursday?
Today is Thursday.
All right, so Wednesday morning, there's a long story about getting this Starlink.
Yes. Did you have to drive down to get it?
Yeah, well, sort of. So in Mexico, it's wait list, right? When you look at the map, look at the Starlink map, it's on wait list, which means sometime they're going to get that shit. There's coverage there, but they're not shipping there.
Right.
So it's like every part of Mexico, except for little slice where I live in Puerto Vallarta, I'm like, motherfucker. So I've been waiting forever on that. And then I'm like, screw it. So I started checking around people, asking questions in Puerto Vallarta. I found a dude who has a sailboat in that bay. It's Banderas Bay. And he's got the Starlink RV. He ordered it in the US, brought it with him on the boat, and he's getting great coverage. He's loving it. I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cancel my order in Mexico. I'm going to order that shit here in the United States, and I'm going to bring it with me to Mexico on my next trip. So I went to order it. Well, here where I live in Minnesota, it's also wait list. I'm like, damn it. So then I registered a virtual mailing address, 999 at whatever the fuck this place is, in Mason City, Iowa, so that I can ship it, so I can get one. So then they shipped it. It was delivered on Tuesday afternoon. So then I drove to Mason City Wednesday morning. It's about 2 hours from here. Picked that shit up, had it running yesterday. And my life is whole again, man. I feel like I'm like a human again. Is that a long story?
No, but it's way better internet than what you had.
Dude, I'm telling you, latency is where the hell's my shit?
You haven't roboted out on me once.
I'm telling you, brother. Well, not just that, but nobody's on my fucking network. The home network.
Right.
Even if you segment it and you do whatever, and I bought another.
Well, you're sharing the pipe.
Well, I grew up a network guy, right? So I love networking and shit. And so, but ever since I switched from being the Cisco network dude to the security guy, I've been cursed. People don't believe me, but you could be, I mean, the shit, I can't believe the shit's working right now. Because normally what happens is my shit ain't working. You're sitting right next to me using the same fucking network, the same fucking computer. Your shit's working smooth as hell. Mine's like, and people are like, oh, well, dude, you got to do this. I'm like, here, you fucking make it work. And then they make it work, and then they give it back to me, and it goes to shit again. I'm like, I didn't fucking do anything.
I wonder if it's the energy. I've always had this theory that we put out a electromagnetic signal, which is a fact. Humans do. We radiate, right? We have radiation. But when people have had problems with their computer, and I've come along and literally done nothing but wave my hand over it and seemingly fixed it, I wonder how much of that was they were frustrated, and so they were putting out a signal that was actually disrupting. Because I know when I'm really pissed is the time my computer seems to behave its worst. Right? Like, I'll have a little hiccup with something, and it's taking too long to load, and then I get about it, and then all kinds of shit starts going wrong. Explorer has stopped working.
Yeah. My latency is about 23 milliseconds.
That's not bad. That's probably better than mine.
I know, I'm telling you, man. 23 milliseconds.
Where to? Just to Google?
I'm not sure what their statistics are pointing at. I'm guessing it's probably bouncing back, probably a bounce back or something. Yeah, speed, I'm getting 100 plus. It's like life is the best it's ever been.
That's pretty nice. We'll see what happens here when I hit the gateway. I got to hop through a couple of things here. All right.
So tonight I taught network fundamentals.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's my jam. So I was just like, I don't know, just loving it. And then this lady, well, I get the best students, man. She's been in this business for like 30 years, and at the end, and she knows her shit. She's a techie for sure. And she at the end of the class, she goes, I think I'm paraphrasing, but she said something like, that was the best networking class I've taken or something like that. And I was like, really? Fuck. All right.
I
some days you're on, some days you're not.
You're damn good, man. I learned stuff from you all the time, right? And it's interesting. I'm surprised you're not more into quantum, being a networking guy, because that's the next evolution of.
Blow me up, man.
You want some time crystals?
No.
Little bag of time crystals, couple ounces of some ferrofluid, a little bit of superconductor. Before you know it, you too can travel through space and time.
No, I'm fine with my Harley and scuba diving and sunshine and my wife. I'm cool with that stuff.
But you can't take your Harley with. So are we
That's
going to
true.
get? Oh, I know what we do. Let's get you an e-bike with a Raspberry Pi and a really awesome Bluetooth speaker that goes whop, 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 whop. And then as you e-bike around, it can sound like a Harley. Best of both worlds. Marlis is happy. You have a motorized two-wheel thing that makes loud noises. I feel like there's a compromise in here.
Well, I'm learning how to play guitar, man.
I know
that the top floor where you have those big glass doors, open that shit up. You look over the valley. I'm gonna get some big ass amplifiers, and I'm gonna fucking do some Metallica, man. I'm gonna learn that shit, and then people are gonna be like, crazy fucking American up there.
I like.
They're gonna love me. They're gonna love me because I love them. I invite them all up to have dinner with me and shit.
Well, I'm excited. In September, all going well, we'll get you a lesson. That's all. It's still on track. So,
does he have his flight booked too?
Not yet. Partly because he doesn't know if he's going to have to do a show. I should have a pretty solid answer though by end of July as to whether there's any shows that he would have to. It's the only reason he wouldn't be able to make it is if he had to go do a show. But as of right now, he's pretty excited about it. The old man's pumped.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he was over on Father's Day and he was telling me all about how he's taking his medication regularly like he's supposed to, and he's eating better, and he's not doing things that he knows he probably shouldn't do, like get on ladders or push himself too hard. I know, well, it made me a little nervous. I'm like, what's going on there, bud? Well, because it was real funny because my cousin was over. My cousin hadn't seen him since the pandemic. And during the last 2 years, he's growing out his hair. He's like kind of chilled a little bit. And so I was like prepping my cousin. I'm like, so he's like, oh, I'm super excited. He goes, but my son wants to come over with his fiance. And I just like, I'm going to have to give her the talk about meeting him. And I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. I said, but believe it or not, he's actually cooled out quite a bit. And he's like, no, I don't believe any of this. And then he saw him and he's like, oh shit, what happened? Like he did kind of dial it back a notch, huh? I'm like, yeah, well, getting old will do that to you.
Well, that's the thing. I was telling, who was I talking to? I don't remember, but the first CV Sisto class, I think, took a lot out of me. I'm I've been running hard for 30 years, you know, and I was telling Marlis, I'm like, I think the plan when I get to Mexico is I'll still work, but I won't have deadlines.
Mhm.
If you invite me to meetings and I don't show up, don't be offended.
Right.
You know, I'll always answer your phone call, you know, shit like that. And I think it's going to have to be that way for until I get right again. You know what I mean? I don't have the energy that I
Yep.
need.
Yep.
So I think it could be, you know, 9 months, 12 months. It could be, it may never come back. I don't know, but it's just one of those things where you just feel like, you know, I don't have the get up and go that I need. And then, you know, you think about the mission, you think about the team, and they need the best, right? They need the best version. So then it's like, well, fuck, they're not getting that. So primarily over at FR Secure, I've been stepping out of things, you know, like the unsecurity podcast. This next episode might be my last episode, and I'll hand it off to Oscar and Brad. You know, it's just I'm not when somebody else when you feel like somebody else is serving better than you, like somebody else is better for the mission than you are, you got to be man enough to step aside.
Yep.
And I think that, you know, that's kind of what's sort of happening in some places, you know. It's good though. Shit. More scuba diving.
Right. Well, and that's part of the thing, man. I mean, if you put these orgs to where your fingerprints are deeply embedded, I mean, the culture that exists is a direct reflection of your doing. And so I think, you know, that's what's keeping the mission moving. That's what keeps the mission alive and keeps it full of lifeblood is the culture piece and the things. And, you know, you still do it. There's no way you won't. I know what's up. You're going to go through the same thing everybody that's ever tried this is. All right, hands off. I paid my dues, feet up, guitar in my hand. And you'll do that for a while. And then I'll get a call from you at like 11:30 at night one night. Right. Got this crazy idea just popped in my head. I've been up all night, 2 nights in a row working on this. I want to talk about it. I want you to look at it, you know. So I think there's still going to be that. What I'm curious to see is that creative spark when there's no more pressure, when there's no, you know, overarching obligations, you know, you do it or you don't do it. What do you come up with next? I think is I'm excited to see, because I know what we're doing over here and what that next, you know, what the next 12 to 24 looks like. And it looks pretty awesome. It's a lot of fulfilling on and actually doing the tangible pieces of the fixing of the industry. I like to think of it as patching walls and repairing sidewalks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's hard to predict, you know, but it's either way, you know, it's going to be a good time. What's the okay, so it's June 23rd.
Yes. So
how many days does that make between now and the July 4th weekend? How many days are we away?
15, hold on. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4,
13, 12.
14. Right? No, 14.
30 days. That's September, April, June, and November. So we have
20,
7 left here for 11 days.
22. No?
11.
Only 11? That doesn't
Yeah.
seem...
Well, so here's the deal. You know, what's going to be the thing this holiday? So they've been on a pretty good cycle. You know, you got to give them some credit. They're actually watching the calendar, and the attackers are coming off of, believe it or not, they do take summer vacations. They're coming off of vacation. They're also, when you're talking about, you know, attackers from the Eastern Bloc, things have stabilized somewhat in Russia and Ukraine. You know, at the very beginning, you know, there was a lot of worry that well, with the war, we're going to see a whole bunch more attacks here stateside, but they were occupied. They were taking down and working on infrastructure in Ukraine, right? So they weren't focusing on us. Well, we've seen in the last 4 weeks a fourfold increase in the number of attacks reported, and the holidays coming. And I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm not a cause, oh my God, panic shit.
Right.
But we're also seeing dwell times significantly decreased from the time they get into the environment and the time they're ready to detonate, say, ransomware. Ransomware is still king right now because it's the biggest ROI, right? Make you a whole bunch of money.
Yep.
So 2 weeks, the last couple that we've seen. So that would have put them at the beginning of this week, assuming that is any kind of pattern or trend. So for people, I wonder how many people are actually like paying the fuck attention that, okay, July 4th is coming up really soon. Do you have coverage? Right now, if you haven't done any threat hunting, and you don't have to get all fucking super sophisticated on your threat hunting either, by the way. If you have done threat hunting right, recently or in the last week, get the fuck on that. And if you want to know a place to start with your egress filtering, start with looking at command and control traffic, start trying to identify some IOCs there, right? Do that now. Like, stop watching the fucking shit show. Turn that shit off.
Right. Go close off that 3389 if you'd be so kind.
Well, yeah, go check out your firewall. Because I was just, talking to a CISO friend of mine at coffee this morning. And he's new at this job at this place. And it's a pretty big place. It's a global company. And I don't know, 5,000 employees. I don't know what the fuck they are. But he was like, what should I be doing, right now? He's trying to, get his, I said, well, you got long-term shit and you got shit like right in front of you right now. And one of the things that's in front of you right now that you need to sort of get your hands around is July 4th is coming. You're a fintech company. You're in the crosshairs. It's always a good thing to do anyways. Just fucking do that.
So I suspect, and I am probably more of the doomsday side of things, but I did put a link in the chat, both for you in the Zoom as well as everybody in the YouTube chat. So they're not saying, but when the FBI is directly asked a question and their response is cannot confirm nor deny, it kind of tells you all you need to know. Their no's are no's and their yeses are yeses. And when it's that third option, it's like, the pipeline explosion that occurred in Texas. There is enough breadcrumbs that would indicate that you can't absolutely rule out cyber caused event. It is being investigated in a way that is under cover of classification. Like it's, when they're throwing confirm and deny statements around, that's a really telling thing. If I was them, I would probably do something a little more kinetic. I would probably do something a little more disruptive. The gas prices, by that plant being disrupted, the fuel availability to Europe was decreased. The cost of gas at the pump in the US was increased, right? I don't think they're going to do a full scale thing. I would not be surprised though to see more interruptions and things that just, slowly erode.
Well, it's two different groups though. You're talking about a nation state group or somebody who's working to disrupt the United States, operations of the United States, safety issues, public issues, shit like that. But then you've got the money motivated attackers who are traditionally the ones who are waiting for holidays. The nation state ones don't really wait for holidays as much as the money ones do. So yeah, I don't disagree on nation state stuff and kinetic stuff happening anytime soon. For sure it's going to happen, but the money stuff.
I'm with you. the
mean, what's your prediction on what it's going to be? There's plenty of fucking vulnerabilities. I mean, I don't know which one you want me to pick, but
well, probably more. Okay, so the money ones we know, but I want to back up for a second. So North Korea has been notoriously tied to massive ransomware campaigns. It's part of how they're getting money to fund their missile program, right?
I want North Korea to attack me.
No.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Come on.
No, because they're backed by the panda, right? And you don't want the panda to attack you. I promise.
Yeah, I do. Bring them all. Fuck it. What a way to go down, man! In a fiery fucking.
I mean, it'd be cool. Make you elite and all.
Yeah, it beats dying on the fucking couch of a heart attack.
I think you will see agricultural attacks. I think,
dude, you are so fucking dead on. That is so fucking vulnerable. It's not even funny.
Well, and I think you're going to see the first round in around the holiday. I do think you're going to see that. Around the 4th, I absolutely expect. So how do I say this? Theoretically, I knew of something that was going to happen around Easter, and then it happened. It's not been reported. It has actually been basically shut the F up, or we'll say it when we want to. But a major event did occur that has not been reported. My concern is that, again, a major event will occur but go unreported. So unless it's something we physically see happen, such as a kinetic type attack.
Well, again, you got to go back to the motivation, right? I mean, nation state.
Well, let me long-winded here.
I mean, money shit. They don't give a fuck if you report it or not.
Well, but I believe the nation states are going to use the criminal window to hide their stuff as well. So we'll have
why hide it?
Well, because we're still trying to do stuff a little covert versus overt right now.
Who are you hiding it from? Us? The public? Or the government?
The public. The government's gonna know, but
the public's not fucking paying attention anyway. So why the fuck would I care about hiding it? They don't pay attention to shit.
Well, because if we
know, if I go talk to my neighbor right now and ask him about the shit that went down in Texas, he has
no clue. My cab driver didn't even know there was my Uber driver had no idea there was a war in the Ukraine right now. Like zero clue. Zero.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the situational awareness of the general public is fucking gone. So I don't care about. I mean, if it were me, I want effectiveness. I don't care about sleuthiness or.
Well, I think fucking with the food right now. If there's a way to hold, because hell, I mean, most of the farms in America are now, even if an individual farmer is living there farming it, it's usually under some kind of lease from a larger corporate farm. The amount of farm automation is, I mean, we're almost to the point where we could just take the farmer off the farm, right? It's all production line manufacturing, from birthing to whatever. There's new robotics on the farm. If I really wanted to make sure I got paid, I'd start messing with the ag systems.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that a little bit, right? When they took down the meat packing plants.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of it. But I think if I was them, that's what I would go after.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything nation state, to be honest, by July 4th. But maybe, I mean, this is all speculation anyway, right? You and me. So you might be right. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I'm actually more worried about some Hia who
there's going to be money motivated shit. You're going to see one of the vulnerabilities, one of the 0 days, or it's going to be some kind of supply chain you got in through, open source something that's going to be pretty significant in the next couple of weeks. And I think attackers are already in many of these environments. It's dwell time now and what systems to hit and shit. And then I think you're going to see a significant number of ransomware attacks in, over that holiday.
Well, did you see?
And it might be on public, and it might be on public infrastructure, because the thing about public stuff is you're guaranteed to get paid.
Right.
They don't go out of business. The school district doesn't go out of business. My city doesn't go out of business. They need their shit. They're going to pay.
Well, a lot of them are self-insuring. So while there's not an immediate impact of quote unquote going out of business, a county, a city getting hit, if they're self-insured, the economic impact of that can be quite significant for some time. Diminished services, right? Because that money's got to come from somewhere. So now I don't have as much money for my, Head Start program, or I don't have enough money for, my, community elder care program, or, I think you'll start to see the impacts of this stuff later.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In the immediate, well, they just changed the bankruptcy law, by the way, to account for the fact that 60% of small business goes out of business 6 months after a cyber attack. So they've now modified the bankruptcy law language and limits to try to compensate for this.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the legislation package that passed earlier this week that included the state and local government.
I can tell you how to fucking compensate for this.
Use your firewall correctly.
Yeah, fundamental basic shit.
You mean don't believe that, that link? I got one. Somebody's trying to give me a job. So I've been getting this scam email for some time now that my appointment for this job has been booked, and it's a global director level position, and this and that and the next thing, and just click here to let us know if this time doesn't work for you. And it's like, how many people don't even stop? How many people got that and went, oh sweet, somebody offered me a job that I never applied for, that I never even looked for? And the red flag for me was clearly you don't know who you sent this to, because why would I give up what I got for that? You're out of your mind.
Right.
Would you like an entry level data entry job? No, I would not. I think it's going to be ag. And if it's not ag, it's going to be infrastructure. I mean, but do you know my bigger worry is hacktivism? My bigger worry is there's a growing trend of I'm not part of this government anymore.
Yeah, but those don't bother me because they're not organized enough. The attackers
organized enough to storm the Capitol.
Well, or destroy a fucking city. I mean, it's left and right. They're gonna end up fucking.
Yeah, I'm not painting a party brush. I'm saying
they're gonna end up destroying themselves, because even then they're not organized. I mean, if you really wanted to storm the fucking Capitol, you would have organized that shit a lot better, and you would have had fucking better success. Same with fucking protesting and burning down a city. They're just.
I agree.
Yeah,
however,
don't bother me too much.
However, they don't have to be, because they can go online and they can execute. I mean, we just took down that Russian botnet, right? That was millions and millions of infected devices.
Do you remember what happened last year, July 4th?
No.
Kaseya. That was the Kaseya attack.
Okay. Well, I know Atlassian just got nailed, and they went after the clandestine projects instance.
Right. So last July 4th was our evil, and it was Kaseya.
Okay. Chris, we're taking a guess what's going to get hit this 4th of July.
Oh, I got a couple of ideas for you. What have you gotten to so far?
I said ag. I said they're going to go after ag.
No, ag's too complicated. Doesn't have immediate effects.
And I said it's a money motivated, probably another supply chain type.
Yep. Get your nose out of it, goofball. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to be intrigued to see what they end up going for.
More pipelines.
Well, yeah, duh. I mean, talk about the easiest bloody target out there.
But the thing, do we all agree? I mean, are we all pretty much in agreement that there's going to be something in 11 days?
I literally gave this advice to a VC client. I said, if it was my decision to make, I would just go ahead and pull the internet cable before going into the holiday weekend. I would literally just walk up to the switch and just, there it goes. Just no more.
You had no internet this holiday?
Just, they don't need it. They're not in an operational status at that time, right? I said,
who isn't? Hang on, who's not in an operational status?
On the 4th of July?
Well, hang on, who is not in an operational status?
Oh, the client that I was talking to would be on operational status during the 4th of July holiday weekend. Therefore, I said, if it was my sole call to make, I would just pull the internet cable. Save yourself the trouble. But if you don't do that, for God's sakes, make sure you've got known good secured backups made.
Yeah.
Plan printed out. You take a copy home with you. Everybody else takes a copy home with them. And you swap cell phone numbers. You're ready for a fire drill.
Yep.
But unplug it from the internet's also totally a valid option.
But it's not. Yes. It's not for people that need to be operational.
That is correct.
Well, that's the.
And here's the thing. So we're 11 days away, and I would, whatever attack it's going to be, I'm almost certain that they're already in your environment. Right. So a really good time right now would be, hey, let's take this next week and do a really, at least the best threat hunting exercise we can do. Start at the egress, start at the fucking firewall. You're going to have to do it eventually anyway. Why not do it now?
Right.
And look for that command and control traffic.
Here's an interesting one. Most small businesses don't need to interface with outside IPs, right? They can geo-block the majority of external traffic and still be just fine. Not many people are doing that. And these days it's a drop down. I've seen these firewall configuration settings. This is a drop down. I want a geo block, and these are the countries I want to block.
Well, and maybe you start with the geo block step 0.1, right? Because it's so easy to get past a geo block.
It is.
But that is a good first step. If you don't know anything about what you're doing, start with that drop down, enable the geo block the countries you don't do business with or don't need to communicate with. But then get to know your fucking environment. Get to operational awareness. What the fuck is running in my environment? Block anything that's not required to talk with anything outside. That should be your ultimate goal, and start making steps towards that. You're going to keep chasing your fucking tail over and over and over again until you finally fucking get that right.
Well, and here's what I don't get. So we know that when the link is clicked, that initiates an outbound call. And without a round trip, there is no successful completion of command and control. I might deploy something, right? Something might get deployed, virus or worm, malware, whatever. But
unless you got in on already compromised software like SolarWinds or something like that, what I mean? You still need to.
Yeah, but you can still run a DNS architecture that doesn't allow anything that you can do some really cool stuff with DNS that wouldn't even allow that to occur. Oh, did I lose you guys, or are you there?
Absolutely.
No, we're here.
No, and that's the point. Block the shit that's not fucking needed. I mean, it blows me away how many people operate computer systems, operate networks, operate network architectures, operate firewalls, operate all this shit, and they don't know how to use it. Or if you do know how to use it, you're not fucking using it right.
Right.
We all get paid. Don't you get a paycheck? I get a fucking paycheck. I'm a professional. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, that's time and everything else that we have in this, we bloody well should do by this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just concerned that you still have some time, right? It's 11 days away. Based on what we've been seeing in our own incident responses, dwell times have really shortened. So,
Yeah.
but if you are at risk for July 4th, that weekend, chances are really good that they're already in your environment. So start your threat hunting now. If you haven't done it already, document your process. This should be something that you should be doing on a regular basis. Maybe you operationalize this and you do a threat hunting exercise the week or 2 weeks before every fucking holiday.
Yeah, but that would mean that I have to be organized, and that would mean I have to. I mean, I think this is where the I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, I had a little bit of not a meltdown, a minor meltdown today, and kind of growled because I'm like, all right, I'm spending a lot of my time trying to not explain what I'm doing. I'm spending a lot of my time doing fucking PowerPoints, and not enough. I don't feel like enough of my time actually doing things. I'm like, This has got to change. Stop making me explain shit. I'm explaining it in a way that everybody understands it, but I don't need to be making it pretty. I do not need to be spending 40, 50, 60 hours on a fucking deck when I can get the point across in probably a 10-minute bloody meeting as effectively using actual words rather than PowerPoint. I think that's my frustration is a lot of times we spend too much time putting the polish on how to justify what we're doing, not enough fucking time actually doing.
Well, yeah, and part of this conversation came from, I had a meeting with a CISO friend of mine who is probably about the same amount of time on the job as you are, at Boom, Chris. And, it's a good sized organization. And, we were talking about, the long-term shit that you have to focus on, but then also the shit that you have right in front of you. And he's got a team. And I said, because he said the same thing, right? I don't have the resources. And I'm like, and I'm not gonna say his name. I almost said his name. I'm like, that's a fucking cop-out. I'm sorry to tell you, man. I mean, I love you. You're my friend. That's a cop-out. You're not creative enough to find the fucking resources is what it really means. Find a tinkerer on your team. A team, one of those teammates that's just like, I love fucking numbers. I love tinkering. I love doing shit. He'll do it after hours for you. He'll start doing something for you.
Right, but the challenge. I mean, we got Sweet doing that stuff for us inside HHS, and there's a couple of the IT crew that are absolutely fantastic. But again, the challenge with that, especially here, is there aren't enough actual bodies at the moment, physical bodies. And yes, I can ask people to do more things, but then you run into that. I don't need burnout. The last thing I need, they're all running around doing IT stuff, making sure that shit actually happens. And so when you go from that and go, hey, I don't just need to make sure shit actually happens. I actually need to do, we need to do a bunch of other stuff as well. There's only a certain amount of things that one day can actually produce. So really the argument and the conversation today was, I can spend 40 hours putting this fucking deck together, or I can spend 5 hours doing it and 35 hours actually fucking working. You tell me what you want me to do. But if it's 40 hours putting this shit together, that means I'm not spending 35 hours making sure that we're as safe and secure as we can be. For their business, it's your choice.
Well, that's how you have to manage it, man. So, with this guy, he's not running into that problem. He's running into, where should I prioritize my time? And I told him, you're in fintech. So this is a CISO who's in fintech. It's a good sized company. Yeah. And like you are in the crosshairs. Find a tinkerer on your team because they won't burn out. They get energized by doing this shit. It's like me. If you get me geeking out on something, I'll fucking work 30 hours straight and not even blink. Find him, get him on it, or her. Might be a her on your team. I don't know your team.
It, but
because your CISO job is going to be very short-lived if there. I would guess that there is something. I mean, I just get a feeling that there's something in this fucking environment. I'm like, your 3 months on this job is going to be over pretty quick if you don't get on this. And it's an exercise you're going to have to do anyway.
Well, that's why. So that's literally week 2. We chucked Dave in. Literally week 2. I'm like, I'm putting Dave in. I want ice. So I chucked Dave into our environment. the same box that we've had in a few other places. Dave's running in that environment, so at least I got eyes. Now they're not perfect, and it isn't everything, but at least I got eyes, and I can start to understand what I'm missing, where I'm missing, and now it's I need fucking eyes. When I got eyes and I know what I'm dealing with, then I can start dealing with the rest of it. So to me, I mean, that's the simple stuff, though. We should all know that one. It's going to get a little noisy because I'm going to open the window for the wolf mark.
No problem.
So what I don't get is
This is the
there's
life
all
of a
kinds
CISO.
of, huh?
Go ahead, man. Sorry, I was going to say this
Oh.
is the life of a CISO, though. It's this constant prioritization of things.
Totally.
You've got the long-term things, and then you've got these things that are right fucking in front of you right now.
Oh, I mean, shit. I had a bunch. You know, we were sitting in the hangar this afternoon, stood in the hangar this afternoon, and I've got XP1 sitting right in front of me, and we're talking about that and securing that. And one of the folks that's on that is also heading out to North Carolina for the new facility that's out there. And at the same time, I'm having to deal with how do I plan to build the full-size jet and everything else. So you want to talk about, I mean, I'm strategically planning out to 2029 at the moment. And that's without putting any fucking passengers in the damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally. Sorry, Ryan, I jumped on you, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I was just, pondering, there's scripts, there's guidance, there's like part of the thing that I've been finding frustrating is this wealth of information that seemingly to me, and maybe I'm part of the space aliens and you'll see my face on the James Webb telescope pictures, right? But like,
I can make that happen.
I don't seem to quite grasp why, if the information is freely available, if you can run a script that does 98% of the secure config for you, if Microsoft themselves is like, hey, we built a specific PowerShell module to address DNS dangling and other things, right? Like, why aren't we doing it? I get that nobody wants to hand do this crap.
Again, because it's prioritization, because unfortunately every single environment is different, because we don't know what it's always going to break, because we've got to put it past test, because, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, excuses why we don't, and they're not all valid. Some of it is just, there's logic. I'm about to order a drink and a pub cup for the dog, so just, hello, hey, how you guys doing? Good.
But he's totally right, man. There are so many people that are.
Say hi to everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
I am going to grab. Can I grab a nice chai, please?
And a Big Mac.
Flavor in there today?
Say again.
Any flavor?
Yeah. What do you
Orange.
I'm not having orange in my iced chai. Bugger off.
Oh,
Purple. You got purple?
grape.
No, purple. Those are different flavors.
Blueberry.
You. Say again.
Medium.
Yes, please. Sir. No.
Blueberry. Extra whip.
What else today?
That's it. Thank you, sir.
Don't forget the pup cup.
Yeah. I couldn't get out of here. He would eat the damn car. There's a lot more than that. Enjoy. You're awesome.
So, okay. All right. So here's the challenge then.
No, put it in the tip jar. Yeah, hell yeah.
What, why don't we get something out? To Chris's point, doesn't need to be sexy or polished, but why don't we throw a document out that goes, here,
Yeah.
this is how to do this. These are basic steps, a couple basic scripts.
Dodge, dive.
Go lock down your cache, right? Lock down your cache so you don't have
Oh, I wish I could, believe me.
issues. I mean, I just feel like everybody wants a prescription. Nobody seems willing to write the damn thing. Well, the bits and pieces of the prescription are all over everywhere, ready to be picked up.
Right after you then.
Well, we do write the prescription, and what I get normally is excuses. Even from friends. The CISO I was talking to today, I love him. I told him, this is what you need to do. You wanted to have coffee. You wanted to hear my opinion on some things. I give you my opinion. And then what I get is I don't have the resources. And then what I tell you is that's a cop-out. That's an excuse. You need to be creative on how you use the resources you have. Tell me about your team. And we start talking about his team. I go, it sounds like you have a couple
Ooh.
of tinkerers there
That works.
that you can definitely use.
I'm safe out
Give
there.
them,
All right, let me roll.
buy him a $50 gift card to
I
Best
will
Buy
do. You
or
take it easy.
Micro Center,
You guys.
or, you know, tout their success, do something, but they would love to do this work. You just need to get them to do it, you know, give them some direction. And it was another excuse, right? And it's just like, at some point, you just got to fucking do it. You got to work.
Yeah. So here's the other thing. I think it's the other part of it is as well, like all of us, there's 100 things on the to-do list and you can only focus on a couple. And I think part of the issue is as well, and this is why I've kind of raised up the voice. I'm like, look, here's from a business standpoint, this is what I think we should be focusing on. You seem to want to focus on this. The two are not aligned. Let's fix this out. And then when it's fixed, we'll get on with some stuff for a while until something. And then I think it's also the communication. It's like, look, we don't have to also shoulder all of that discussion. It is really sitting down with the business and like, hey, I can make these damn things pretty or I can get some shit done. It's kind of your choice.
Well, and at this point, I mean, if you are, you know, with what's currently in front of us, if we're 11 days away from something, I don't really have a lot of time to make
get shit done.
Much of a case. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
right.
That's
kind
of where I'm at. We have actually, so I've had Swede bolster up our threat intel so that if there's talk out there, if there's something going on, at least we stand a better chance of hearing about it or finding out about it. Hey, settle down, bud. So that's one. And then better eyes into our environment. And then a whole lot more login monitoring and making sure that when shit does hit, we got a good incident response plan.
Well, that's another thing, right? I mean, it's defensibility, right? So
yeah,
let's say I did some things and I worked my best, you know, as much as I could to prevent whatever's going to happen or whatever I think might happen on July 4th. And let's say I missed a swing and a miss and they still get us. At least then I'm defensible. I can say, this is what I did. I was trying to be proactive. I ran into these hurdles. I took these steps. But what's not defensible is I didn't have the resources. I went on vacation.
Yeah. Well, even that, or I spun my wheels. My wheels. Didn't know what to focus on. And I think that's, to me, that's why I'm sitting down going, look, this is where I'm doing. This is what we're doing behind the scenes. And I'm going to let you know that because I actually want to spend more time doing this. You know, for us, it's probably less July 4th, but it's more the fact that in 3.5, 4 weeks' time is Farnborough Air Show, the biggest air show, I think, pretty much almost globally now. And so we got some serious presence there. So you want to make, I mean, talking about sticking your dick on the table and going, look at us, you know, that's basically what it's going to be. And so we got to make sure that our ducks are in a row for that. For
sure. Absolutely. Yeah, those big events, holidays, shit like that. Those are great times. If I was an attacker, that's when I'd be triggering my shit.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Because maximum embarrassment, maximum damage.
Yep. And if I'm money motivated, maximum money. Because, I know your incident response is going to be shit. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The longer my shit can run and encrypt more servers, the more money I'm going to make, probably.
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, we got DNS sec, right? So we've got things already that have been around for this says been around for 15 years. How many people do you think are actually doing that and getting their DNS records from authoritative DNS services versus
3 of them?
Joe Bob's, I spun up a DNS in my basement and turns out Google's using it.
Yeah, that's true, man.
I'll
be right back. I got to pee.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
I'm with Evan on that one. I think it's a low percentage, I mean, it depends on how you break it down. If we talk about like the top, you typically can break it down into small and medium business, which is millions. And then you break it down, I think it's like 30,000 or 300,000 fall into that secondary category of everybody else, all the big guys. To me, I think that's minimal numbers, 5, maybe 10%.
So, I mean, it's there
We
for
all-
the picking. I don't.
I know.
Okay, so here's my thing then. As the old men in the group, if you will,
Yeah.
how do we make this simpler? So, okay, I don't have time, I don't have resources. Well, we know how much people love their push button events. I know I can write PowerShell scripts that deploy STIGs. I know I can write PowerShell scripts that modify and set up group policies. I'll do all kinds of amazing things with those little buggers.
Right.
Should we build something and go, look, run this, it's the least likely to break stuff, and then dial it up from there and at least cut off some of the big bleed? I've lost both of them temporarily, but I think that's a good idea. I don't know. I just feel like if the problem is that I don't have time to do it, well, you don't necessarily need time to do it. And there are some safe things you can do that are minimally invasive.
Well, but it takes effort, and that's where people.
But that's what I was saying. If we write the scripts for them, the effort is just just click the button. They seem
Well, give me the script.
Yeah, but-
Give me the script. Give me the script for the most fundamental thing I should do. Almost asset management.
Yeah.
From
oh,
that-
yeah.
Well, I mean, okay. So Nmap, very scriptable.
Right. Well, that'll get you started.
Right.
Right.
I won't get you the full. I know.
Because from Nmap, that's what's going to lead to all these other things, right? If I really want to be able to do egress filtering on my firewall, for instance, I have to know what applications I have running in the environment and what they need to fucking talk to. So you can do all the band-aids on the bullet wounds you want, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to stop the fucking bleeding and get the bullet out of the body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing we've been preaching, but when you come up to these events, you don't have enough time to do an asset inventory right now, right? Put that on the long-term planning thing, right? What you need to do right now is get yourself in a position to try to identify if there's something in your environment. So threat hunting and your incident response, shore that shit up right now. What are you going to fucking do if malware hits on July 4th that day? Who's going to call who and what are you going to do?
Well, I know who I'm calling, what I'm doing.
Don't fucking call me. I'm
Do
talking
not.
to that. I'm talking. No, I mean, you can call me, but I'm talking like,
All right.
there's been
And I'll
clients
challenge
who
you
called me,
on that one.
who've called my cell phone
Evan?
and then got upset that I didn't respond. And it's like, I'm not in your fucking incident response plan.
Right. So, can you guys hear me or not? Have I lost you?
Yeah, we can now.
Sorry, I'm actually almost back at the house. I got back to the house and a certain young gentleman was very, very eager to get back out of the house. And well, you saw it. We hit Dutch Brothers. We did pub cups. He's all happy now.
That's
so,
awesome.
Evan, I'm going to challenge you. I would say that with 11 days, you can still do a fucking asset discovery. Because what you do is you take a computer that's not doing very much. You figure out where all of your networks are that you know, you expand it by a couple of subnets, you hit go, and you just let it run a fucking asset discovery. This shit ain't that hard to do.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and then you basically look at it. I did it this afternoon. So Ryan and his bloody software won't let me get a nice, pretty report until I've scanned my freaking internal network. Which actually makes me happy because that proves that I actually know what the fuck I've got in my internal network.
Well, it's just that I haven't told you where the button is yet that lets you bypass it. But
You
I know.
bastard.
I was gonna say something. I'm like, oh fuck, should I say something?
You bastard. But I actually don't mind. So this afternoon, I got all the Nessus. So we're looking at Tenable.io and some other stuff. Managed to get all that running. And I ran a scan around a bunch of our systems. Yeah, I let the laptop run for the entire afternoon. It did its thing. I now have the output. I looked quickly through it and I'm like, I recognize most of that. There's some stuff in there I want to take another poke at. And I'm happy. And do you know what the worst offender was? Which actually makes me really fucking happy. The honeypot on my machine.
Oh, nice.
And that was the worst offender in our environment, was actually my honeypot. And I'm like, yes. And I wanted to actually give the IT folks a hug for that one, because I'm like, all right, we got some shit together. It actually makes me happy. It ain't perfect, but I tell you what, it's a lot better than I thought it would be.
All right, so I put 2 links in the chat and I'll repost them here. You don't have an incident response plan. Well, guess what? We wrote one for you. Fill in the blanks for Pete's sake, and then follow the damn thing. You don't have a continuity plan. We wrote that for you too. Fill in the blanks and follow it.
Is that that one that you shot over to me, the school style one?
It's got school language in it, but it is
Yeah.
a bona fide.
No, that was freaking awesome. I love that one.
It's a bona fide response plan that would hold up in any business of any size.
Well, I mean, hell, fucking NISTA's got one, for God's sakes, as well. I mean, NISTA's got a default template for. I mean, the shit's out there. You only just got to bloody Google template incident response plan.
Apparently, no one else gets those Google results. We, the 3 of us, are the only humans alive on planet Earth.
Oh,
that
you
can
know what
find
I do?
these things.
You know what I do want to do is give a shout out to Gary Hayslip. I actually hit Gary up because I've got to do this board presentations, drive me a little nutters, because I want to say things the way I want to, but I need to say them a little differently. So I actually hit Gary up and I said, hey, got some thoughts. And he's like, oh yeah. And he gave me access to his OneDrive drivey thing, whatever the hell it is, up his store. Holy shit. You want to talk about a treasure trove of amazing stuff? You want to talk about somebody else I want to hug? So it's you two and him now are in that remit. So yeah, I love him.
Awesome. That's cool. So,
and again, you know, you look at somebody like him, crazy successful, written several books on the whole damn topic, doesn't have to do, but he's like, yeah, I got you covered. Here's access to the share. And I'm like, I love you. So cool. Yeah, there are people out there who will help. You just got to ask. It ain't that fucking tough.
I just gave everybody the stigs for DNS configs.
Nice. Thank you.
Use them.
Oh, actually, you know, there's another one. Okay, so here's another one. You want to talk about stuff. So, and we did it. I gave it to the crew today. I still didn't talk about it. And I don't want to, one of the companies that I was doing some advisory stuff for, Sempris. So they do all Active Directory stuff. Mm-hmm. They created, and they actually put it up on its own bloody website now. They've created this tool called Purple Knight. And it goes in free of charge, free download, no fucking registration or shit. You basically go in, you download the tool, you run it carefully. You don't have to do anything. You just run it against your Active Directory. It comes back and helps you understand how your AD is. You know, nice. I mean, let's face it, AD is one of the most attacked systems out there. It created this fucking free tool and they said, here, have at it.
I love that. I love that they did that.
Yeah.
I am going to post a link to probably the coolest site that I know of for helping folks manage this crap. It's called the Lazy Administrator. And if you don't know about the Lazy Administrator, boy, you are missing out.
Jim, you put them in the, where are you putting them? You put them in
I'll put this in the chat as well.
Well, I'm not on the chat thing because I'm sitting in the iParade. Okay,
I'm putting them in the YouTube chat as well.
All right, I'll hit that at some point.
But anyways, one of my favorite scripts that I'm going to post is the interactive Active Directory HTML report script.
Ooh.
You execute the PowerShell, and then it gives you a visual output organizing everything by groups and roles and permissions and OUs and all that fun shit. If you haven't run this, for God's sakes, run it.
Now's the time to run it.
Yes. And what you're looking for, by the way, are accounts with admin permissions that you didn't make.
You didn't make or you didn't know about.
Or you're looking for your account with one letter off or a space instead of a dot or
ADM1N by any chance or ADM.
What? I've never seen that before. Why do I have 7,000 Win32 processes running?
Or service account do not delete used to be one of my favorite ones.
Oh yes,
that might be I might have gotten away with that more times than I probably should ever admit.
I just
Oh, speaking of hacking things, I am having a little bit of fun online at the moment on the LinkedIns. NASA is releasing the James Webb Telescope images on July the 12th, and I can't wait. So I might have gone out there and had some fun with some images. And yeah, and so I'm pre-releasing hacked images from NASA's "Don't fucking release these to the public" folder. So I'm having so much fun. I had ET on one. I had the original Star Trek ship on one. I'm going to put the Millennium Falcon on one. I'm just having fun with this shit. Maybe.
I like it. All right. Here is the script for the email policy configuration of O365. If y'all would just execute these things.
Nice.
20 minutes of scripts, you can move your security program forward, I don't know, 10 years.
Right. Oh, dear. You guys are awesome. Oh, hey, next week it will be 9 plus 9. 9 plus 18 is 27, which is 24, which is 3. It'll be at 3 o'clock in the morning for me, I think, if I'm reading my math right. Yeah, it'll be 3 in the morning. So I'll either be drunk, tired drunk, sat on a beach somewhere in the Mediterranean, or I'll be up to my knees in the beach, because that's about as far as I go in water in the beach, because it's sandy and I hate sandy shit. Or something along those lines. But I'm in Israel next week.
Nice.
Or it'll be, what are we, Thursday, so it'll be coming up on Friday morning. B-sides this Thursday. Yeah, I'll be as drunk as a skunk. So yeah, it should be an engaging and entertaining shit show, because it'll probably be from some little it'll be somewhere in Tel Aviv, trying not to get arrested or yelled at or shot.
Please don't. They like to shoot over there.
They do, but they're yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to going. It's gonna be nice to get out there again.
What's it like to get arrested in Israel?
I have yet to actually be arrested in Israel, but this might actually be a good trip to find that one out.
Would be interesting. I don't know. Never been in
Israel. I've never been arrested in this. I've never been arrested. I've had to go and sit in small rooms in places a few times, but I've never actually been arrested.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, not in Israel. I mean, in the UK and the US. I've never been prosecuted. Touch wood.
Well, that's what I say. It's one thing to get arrested. It's another thing to get charged.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing. I've never actually had that leveled against me, which is rather nice.
I mean, I've been arrested lots of times, sat in the back of a lot of police cars, but most of the time,
I've had arrest warrants out for me. Gotta love some ex-wives, but I've had arrest warrants out for me for exes. That's about it.
What was it? I don't know what year it was. 20. It's been 20 years now.
Oh wow.
I had an arrest warrant, a felony warrant that I didn't know about.
Ooh. Oh shit.
And they had my house surrounded. Came and took me away at, I don't know, 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I was sound asleep.
Oh wow.
All this commotion, flashlights all the fuck over the place. I'm like, what the fuck? And they took me to jail. And I'm like, this is a mistake. And they're like, well, we have a warrant, so you're gonna have to take it up with the judge and all this shit. So I had my lawyer, who was going on vacation at the time, was trying to make calls from the airport. And the last step before I was going to the workhouse, which is the next step before going wherever the fuck you go after that.
Yeah.
From the city jail to the workhouse, I was being processed to get on that bus.
Oh, shit.
And the deputy, Evan Francine, I'm like, yeah. He goes, you can go. I'm like, thank God.
No way.
Yeah. So my wife me up and brought me home. But yeah, that was interesting. That's the first time I've had like my house raided, and I don't know if it was a no-knock warrant or not. I don't remember them knocking, but it was interesting.
Jeffco here. We broke into Jeffco as part of an engagement. Actually, we broke into a whole bunch of their buildings, and they were not very happy about how far in we got and No, we didn't embarrass them, but we showed them their issues, and they weren't very happy. So the following, as like several months later, they decided to use the house as a test place, and it was very similar. I got a phone call from the ex, and she was like, "There are cars here, and there are dogs in the garden," and da da da. And I was traveling or something, and I'm like, and I ended up figuring out what the hell it was. And I'm like, "You assholes." So yeah, gotta love them for that one.
My only interaction with the police in Mexico so far has been I ran a red light.
I was there when that happened.
Roll
Were you,
by
were
accident,
you in the
I
car?
assume.
It was
Were you
me
in the
and
car?
John, and you were trying to haggle, and John and I couldn't get money out of our pockets fast enough. And Evan's over there trying to like haggle. He's like, "Well, I mean, I don't know." And John's like, "Just give him the money."
Yeah, man. I mean, come on. Let me put some of my social engineering skills to the test.
There is that to it. Yeah, if you really, I mean, there's definitely times to do that. Shit, we might have done that. I mean, gods, we do that enough.
We had been in Mexico for about under an hour. We had landed, gone to the rental place. We had been out of the rental lot less than 5 minutes.
Oh no.
Well, so I found out. So, because I need to prepare for these things. So I did a bunch of asking with the locals. I told them my whole story.
Yeah.
And they said 400 pesos.
Got it.
That's your price. 400 pesos. Yeah. Put 400 pesos in your glove box. When you reach for your registration, you grab the 400 pesos, you give them the 400 pesos. They know the game. They let you go. And so what I ended up, 400 pesos, and you motherfuckers cost me 100.
No, you didn't have to pay John back, did you?
Well, I'm going to. Come on, man.
Oh, we just considered that was the cost of doing business.
No.
Well, hang on, it cost you 100 extra?
$100 bill was handed to make sure that we drove away real quick, like.
Oh, so the way this game worked, they pulled me over. I said, so what? I said, what happens? I want to do this right and everything. And he says, well, we take your license, we bring it to the police station. You come to the police station tomorrow, you pay the fine, and you get your license back. I said, well, can I just pay the fine right now?
Yep.
And I, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he says, well, it's $100, but you won't get a receipt. And I go, I don't want a receipt, And then John's reaching for his $100, and I'm like, I only have, I don't have $100. Would you be willing to take? And then John puts $100 bill in my lap. I'm like, fuck. All right, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it was left.
Group of 8.
Well, now I know. So there's 3 basic police presences, right? Municipal police, state police, and the National Guard. So the National Guard used to be the federales, but they changed that because they were all corrupt and shit and whatever. So the municipal police don't really have much power. They can't really do much shit. If he would have actually taken my driver's license and brought that into the station, he probably would have been fired, because the way they're supposed to do it with foreigners is you get a warning first.
Gotcha.
So if he would have taken my license and actually brought it to the police station, his captain would have
kicked his ass, basically.
So he never would have done it anyway.
Right. So 400 pesos and you're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's travel tips for people to go into Mexico. If it says municipal police, 400 pesos, that's all you need.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, so just to tie this all back to tonight's thing about cloud, you asked me early on, and I gave you an industry, but now I'm going to tell you what I really think. I think they're going after your SharePoint. I think they're going after your OneDrive. I think they're going after your unprotected or poorly protected buckets. I think they're going to attack the cloud. I think going after the endpoint is reaching its endpoint. And I think the next round and wave of attacks is going to be directly pointed at overly shared and poorly protected SharePoints. They're vulnerable as shit.
True.
And they
Whose
natively run
topic
VB
was it
script.
tonight?
Huh?
Whose topic was it tonight?
It's Chris's topic tonight. So that
Oh, was
my
it?
way
I
of,
thought it was yours.
no, it's you. Head in the clouds is all you, man. So this is me serving it up.
Oh God, I thought it was you for some reason at all. All right. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I screwed up the whole thing. Hang on, I've got list networks again now. Hang on. What did I just do? Hang on. Oh shit. Listen.
Hey, Chris, did you know that right now I'm on Starlink?
Oh, nice. That's actually really good. That's like seriously freaking good.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it.
That's nice. That's actually really good for you. I'm glad. I'm actually really pleased. So are you up north again, or are you back down south? You're up north by the looks of it. You're
I'm
in
up
your
north.
shit.
Yeah, 29 days, and then I'll be back in Mexico for a little while.
Gotcha. I appreciate it.
It's a dive trip. We're gonna get 15 dives in that week.
Holy smoke, that's kicking some ass.
I'm super excited, man. I got some new gear I want to try out. I got my new dive computer. I bought a shit. Who's the fucking Norwegian one? Sunto?
Sunto. Yeah, I think it's Sunto, isn't it? Yeah, they got some brilliant. They actually have some nice gear.
Well, I wanted to have one that had the wireless pressure sensor.
Okay, cool. I don't know one. Yeah, that's nice. And that actually, I might take a look at that. I need to pick up some stuff before we head out to New Hampshire in a few weeks' time.
And it's got a compass built in, and it's got the fuck else. There was another thing I wanted to have on it. Fuck. I don't remember, but anyway, I'm excited to put that shit to the test. Sorry,
Nice.
I squirreled again. Sorry, Ryan.
No, it's all good, man. I'm just finding more helpful content to give people. Here are automation scripts. Just fucking run them. Pick your poison. Run it in Python. Run it in freaking Bash. Run it in PowerShell. I don't care. But my God, like.
I'll put you know what I should do is I'll put that list of to-dos up on the cloud stuff as well. I'll add that in somewhere. And I can't put it up on the post.
Talk about cloud shit. Do people even have an inventory of what cloud shit they're actually using?
My people do, but
my people do.
Don't.
Yeah, my people do, deliberately for all the obvious reasons.
Because a lot of organizations don't have control over that.
Right.
Well, no, it's an open, here's your Office 365 account, and that's the last we talked about it.
Or they go and buy a whole bunch of shit because they're like, oh, I need this cloudy cloud thing because I need this one test done, and then they don't tell anybody about it.
Well, the one that I've been hearing about in conversations is I connected Power BI to the company data store. I then went into the Azure store and bought a bunch of different machine learning and R algorithms that I didn't take time to read that then make calls out to other services to process said information. And I have no clue that I'm pumping my data out to some processing server in Turkey.
Yeah.
So here I think all my data lives inside the US, except my employee granted basically put their SQL credentials into a Power BI.
A little fucking, yeah.
And then used a bunch of plugins that then suck that data up and go process it elsewhere. Supply chain.
That's it. That pisses me off.
It's a thing. I don't know.
I know it's a thing, man. It's more common than we want to realize. But
oh my God, it's so common.
trying to get my hands around what the fuck's in front of me, and then you're out throwing shit all over the fucking place.
Well, and of course the scanners won't find it. So you could run a data discovery script and it's not going to find the calls that are buried in the ML because that's a plugin that you can interrogate because it's a SaaS plugin that you purchase through the store. You can connect to and communicate with, but you have no means of scanning without, crossing the line.
Right. Do you remember that AWS employee that got arrested for 100 million Capital One accounts or some shit like that?
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was more than that, but yeah, it was a bunch, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were just convicted this week.
Hmm.
The sentence hasn't been announced yet, but the way they did it, they'd written scripts to try to identify insecure containers and shit, in the architecture to help customers. And then, oh my gosh, look at this one and look at this one, and ended up, downloading 2 terabytes of data. Yeah, I wonder what the sentence is going to be. The sentencing guidelines could face up to 20 years in jail. I wonder what it's going to be.
Well, it's Amazon. I'll tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be the maximum, because the lobbyists are having dinners and what have yous, and guaranteed somebody said something to the judge on a golf course. And
yeah, I wonder.
It's the way our justice system works. If you're the defendant and the person bringing the charge against you has the money, then they win. If you're the defendant and the government brings a charge against you, but you have more money, you win.
Well, this is criminal, so it's the government. And
then you can write a book about it.
And Amazon's, yeah, and then you could be fucking Mitnick.
I was thinking OJ, but yeah.
Well, in the Amazon's not named other than, part of the story, I guess, but nobody's ever gotten 20 years.
Not yet. It's going to be interesting to see how that changes. Yeah.
Because in a way, I kind of feel sorry for them, but in a way, it's like, all right, at some point we have to throw the book at somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and how much you want to bet that they were just a shell? Like, I wonder what comes out of this. Like, it turns out I got involved in a romance scam, and then, I was forced into this by this guy. Like, I would not be surprised.
Well, it doesn't matter. Already convicted. That's already done.
No, I know, but I'd be very curious to see what what was the real motivation behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't read the.
And how much of that's going on, by the way? How much of I got you dead to rights on some blackmail shit, and I'm gonna go ahead and need you to just deploy that. I'm gonna need you to go to this website, especially with the new clickless, fileless crap, right? I just need you to gently nudge past my general direction.
Oh yeah. Well, that's been increasing where the attackers are targeting insiders, paying them. It's either extortion, or it's paying them a portion of the proceeds to plant shit inside. Yeah.
Well, the one that I saw that I was really impressed by, and it's still a huge risk area, is when you put your gear in a nice little box and then you ship it in. So you've got your some wireless gear and some other gear in this box that you send to an employee who doesn't work there, and then they sit and conveniently take it around the entire building for you over the course of several days while they try to figure out who it belongs to.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cute. I hadn't seen that one before. That's a nice one.
Yep. I'll just put it in a nice little Amazon box and nice little kit in there, a little pineapple or two. And that box could be there a couple of weeks before anybody even does anything with it, before it leaves the building. But during those couple of weeks, it will be given a hand tour down every hall.
So you put you put a GPS device in it, and off you go from there. That way you can pinpoint what you want to get to. Oh, that's lovely. Cute. That RFID. Oh, that's nice. That's better than the Roombas we used to use. Gents, I have to. I'm running.
So
You're running?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a bunch of shit done at the same time.
So I'll close out with this. You're going to get your ass handed to you in the next couple of weeks. There's a greater than not chance it's going to come in the form of a cloud-based attack.
Yeah.
You still have time to prepare for this. You still have time to take mitigating steps and measures. So for those of you that are tuned in tonight, send those links to your friends. Help people know this exists, and then we'll try to maybe get something out ourselves on the socials. But share this stuff, help people. I mean, some of this stuff is super low-hanging fruit that if you just committed to do it, you could run probably 80% of this stuff within an hour and a half.
Yeah, or at least get back to that and get a baseline, get it sorted out, at least know what the hell you're facing, as opposed to sitting there still not understanding.
Yeah. I mean, there's two things, that I'd be doing. You have the strategic shit, but the shit right now, you have 11 days, 12 days, whatever, threat hunting exercise, and focused on egress. There's command and control traffic. That's how you control this. There's two ways to detonate things. It's a logic bomb, meaning a time-based, action-based something. Those aren't nearly as common right now as the command and control. Right. So I'd be doing threat hunting, and I'd be working on my incident response, plan, circle the team, circle the wagons, find out what are we going to do if something hits us this holiday season, whatever, over the 4th of July, what are we going to do? Who's going to call what? Who's watching? Who's on call? And even if you don't have time to do the full fucking incident response plan, at least know the fucking number you're going to call. And don't make it be the FBI. Don't make it be the FBI. Don't make it CISA. Don't make it, your fucking law enforcement. Find somebody, right? You can FR Secure. I'm not here to sell shit. So you could always call us, but have a trusted fucking somebody that you can call and make it. And don't make the insurance company either. They don't fucking work for you. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'd be working on, and I'd be looking for the tinkerer. I'd be looking for the person I could push a little bit. If I had a team, I'd be pushing for the one that's maybe a little bit younger, that has a little more energy, that gets excited about this shit, and send them hunting. It's a great training exercise.
At the very least, collect some syslogs for an hour out of your firewall and see what kind of goofy shit is in there.
Right.
Amen, brother. There's a reason why that fucker logs, and that's why.
Because you're probably gonna find a bunch of stuff you didn't think was there.
Yeah, no shit.
Some of it legit. Some of it legit.
Yeah, some we'll see.
You always do, man. If you haven't looked at the firewall logs for a while, guaranteed you're gonna find some shit like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? And it may not be command and control traffic, but it's something that's really interesting for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Well, it's good seeing you, Chris, man.
Sorry for the mad hectic dash. I fly soon, and I'm just trying to get a shit ton load done.
No worries.
But dude, as a friend, I can tell that today you're in a much better place head wise and all that shit. You just seem happier today. So I love, hearing you and just seeing it, man. It's cool.
Thanks. We'll talk. Yeah, there's stuff, but yeah, we'll talk. Thank you.
Yeah. Love you guys.
We'll see each other very soon.
Yes, but we'll be good. Find that out.
I'll connect with you offline on that app. I'll hit you up this weekend. We finalize details.
Right.
All right, everybody. Have a great one. Sleep tight.
Take care.